Welcome back to Search for Truth. I want to talk about Paul's boasting and why the Jews did what they did to him, regarding what the law said that Yahuwah gave on Mount Sinai. In 2 Corinthians 11:22, Paul says, "Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I. Are they ministers of Christ? I am more abundant. I am in labors more abundant, in stripes above measure, in prisons more frequently, in deaths often. From the Jews 5 times I received 40 stripes minus 1. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. 3 times I was shipwrecked. A night and a day I've been in the deep." So, first of all, I find it strange that he's boasting when we're not supposed to boast. But I want to go back to the Jews stoning him in Acts 14. The Jews from Antioch and Iconium came there, and having persuaded the multitudes, they stoned Paul, dragged him out of the city, supposing him to be dead. However, when the disciples gathered around him, he rose up and went to the city, and the next day he departed with Barnabas to Derbe. So, not only is it strange that they assume they stoned him to death and he didn't die, I find that strange, but why did they stone him? I think it goes back to the same reason that they took Stephen up to the council, and that was based on false reasoning. Like, they had the synagogues of the freedmen went and lied to people and said that Stephen was speaking against the law of Moses and the prophets, and it wasn't true. But that's why the Jews at this point decided to stone Paul, was because he came speaking against the law of Yahuwah, against the law of Moses, which is the exact same thing that you're supposed to do if you go back to Deuteronomy 13, when it talks about people who preach a different God, that we are supposed to stone them and to get them out of the country so that they won't turn everyone else away from the true God. And then he says that the Jews beat him with rods. If you go to Deuteronomy 25, it says, "If there is a dispute between men and they come to court, that the judges may judge them, and they justify the righteous and condemn the wicked. Then it shall be, if the wicked man deserves to be beaten, that the judge will cause him to lie down and be beaten in his presence, according to his guilt, with a certain number of blows. 40 blows he may give him, and no more. So, lest he should exceed this and beat him with many blows above these, and your brother be humiliated in your sight." So, I believe that Paul was found wicked, and all that the Jews were doing were following the law that Yahuwah gave them. When it said, he said, "From the Jews 5 times I received 40 stripes minus 1. So why would he say 40 stripes minus 1? Because they weren't allowed to give more than 40 stripes. So I believe that they found him wicked because he was coming and preaching against the law of Yahuwah, preaching against what we are supposed to be keeping in the commandments, and teaching a different doctrine than what they've ever known, a different God than who we are supposed to be following. And I think this raises a lot of questions, and we should really go back and learn the Old Testament and learn the law, because I think then you will be able to see the discrepancies. Then you'll be able to see the lies